guys, this is Scott with House in Progress. Today we're going to be showing you how to upgrade some old toggle switches to flat panel switches. This is a 2 out of our 5-point scale, so relatively easy. For this project, you're going to go ahead and want to buy some flat panel light switches. You're going to want face plates that go with the light switches. As far as a screwdriver, both a Phillips and a flathead are going to go a long way in helping you out. Then a really small skinny screwdriver or a pick will be great for popping the wire out of the switch, and then some needle nose pliers to bend the wire around the screw. So the most important part of any electrical project, find your breaker box. Mine's located on the side of my house, and we're going to flip off the breaker associated with what we're working on. In my case, that one right there. All you do is flick the switch over. We'll go inside and make sure everything turned off. We're good to go. Just check our switches, nothing turns on, so we're good to go. So first step, just remove the base plate here. Pretty straightforward. All right, now that we've got the innards exposed here, we're going to undo the 2 screws that are holding in our actual light switches. So go ahead and remove those next. All right, and then we're just going to pull these away from the wall, as much room as we have. Don't pull too far. You don't want to screw anything up in the back there, but just so you can see the cabling. With everything all exposed now, we got a couple of wires to take a look at. So we've got the ground wire, which is always going to be an exposed copper wire, generally screwed in to the metal plate outside of the switch itself. Then we've got the switch that carries the power from the house, and then the switch that goes to the unit that needs power. So in our case, this will be the light, and this will be power from the house. And this one over here, you can see it's not a colored wire, but this one is still the one that's carrying the load and then sending the load to the light. So let's go ahead and pop these out. Most light switches will have some type of cavity that you can push a tool into, and it'll just release the cable. So we're just going to pop this in and pull our cable out. You want to make sure you keep track of these cables. Whichever one was in the lower section carrying the load needs to be separated from the other one so you can put it into the new light switch appropriately. And now we just need to unscrew the grounding wire, so just put your screwdriver in and then just unscrew that. These are generally wrapped around the screw itself, so you might have to kind of tug on it a little bit to get it undone, but it should come out fairly straightforward. Now we've got all 3 separate wires. We're ready to put our new switch in. One thing to take note of before you do the install of the switch, there is an indicator marking the top generally, and right here on this one it says top. Make sure you keep note of that and install the switch the correct orientation, otherwise your light switch will work backwards. So you want to examine the back of your switch, find out where the holes are that we're going to need to put our wires into. And since we're not using these screws on the side, I'm just going to go ahead and screw these in real quick, get them closed up. With the copper wire, I've used my needle nose pliers to bend it into shape so it'll go around this screw much easier. Just going to go ahead and screw this on as tight as possible. Then we're just going to find our holes, pop our cables right into those holes, just give it a nice push until it doesn't go in any further. Same thing with the bottom one. Doesn't matter which order you put those on in. Since the power is off, it's not going to make a difference. And now we're ready to screw these back into the wall. You want to try and bend these wires so that they fit directly behind the switch that they're plugged into. Now that we've got our light switches in place with the wires, we're ready to screw them in. We're going to go right on into the screw hole on the base plate itself. I'm going to screw these in one at a time. We want to make sure we get everything lined up before we commit to anything. So we're just going to get these screwed in slightly. That way we have some room to do some tweaking. So at this point you want to try and twist these, get them just perpendicular to the wall so that everything's going to line up nicely once we put our cover plate on. Then we can go ahead and tighten it up. All right, now we've got everything all tightened up, so now it's just time to put our faceplate on. This should just slide right over the top. Before you screw these in, just make sure you're happy with the way that the spacing looks all around. You can still adjust if needed. And if you're happy, then go ahead and just screw everything in. You want to make sure you don't over tighten these. You will crack the plastic, so you're just going just so it gets nice and snug up against the wall, and then calling it good. Here's our finished product. If you're ready to make the switch, hopefully you found this video helpful. A pick, a faceplate. I already forgot what we need for the project. Might need to pull it a little wire here. I've pre-bent it myself. I've already pre-bent it with my needle nose pliers to make it a little bit easier. So we thought it'd be a lot easier.